Okay. If you're seeing my screen, you should be seeing question 9.
Mm-hmm.
Find the value of z. So relative to the indicated angle, which is 40, what is z and what is 12? And your answers are opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse.
12 is the hypotenuse and
Okay,
z is adjacent.
good. So which trig function uses
Cosine.
adjacent and hypotenuse? Cosine. So you write the cosine of 40 equals what goes in the top, what goes in the bottom.
Adjacent goes on the top and hypotenuse on the bottom.
Yes. So that's z over 12. How do you solve for z here? How do you undo division by 12?
You multiply by 12 to cosine 40.
Yes. So z equals 12 cosine 40. What will be the correct answer
Uh,
on the multiple choice here?
nine.
Which let no,
Oh,
notice the
okay.
multiple choice. They don't even want you to calculate it. They want you to just
So
confirm that you had this.
C.
It's C. Yes. Good. All right. Next one I have up is 11. So apologize again. They're slowly uploading. All right. The length of a diagonal of a square is 6 inches. So let's draw our favorite square. There's our favorite square. Here's the diagonal. It's 6 inches. What do we know about a square in terms of the length, the side lengths?
They're all congruent.
They're the same. Now, this also happens to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Why is that?
Um, oh, because like it's fully equal,
So
90
they're the
degrees
same.
on all sides.
Exactly the same. It's the same reason as the there. So
Yeah.
if you recall from the reference triangle, you take the leg and multiply by the square root of 2 to get the diagonal or the hypotenuse. So to go the
Okay.
other direction, if you go the other direction, you divide by the square root of 2.
Wait.
So if that wasn't clear, you can always set the known side 6 equal to the reference side x squared 2, and then divide both sides by the square root of 2. We want to figure out each leg.
Mhm.
Okay, do you remember how to rationalize something like this?
Yes. That would be like um
You
6
multiply,
times 2. Yeah,
yep, over what goes on the bottom. What's square root of 2 times square root of 2?
over 2.
Over 2, and then you can divide.
Yeah. So it's 3 square root 2.
Good. Now that is not the answer, and thankfully it's not there. Sometimes you do all this work and you think, okay, there's my answer. That's just the side length.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good to like draw yet another square and say, okay, that's the side length, that's the side length. How do you determine the area?
You do the sides multiply by each other.
Yes. Okay, so could you do that for us, please?
Yeah. $18.
It's 18. Good. All right, good job.
Okay, wait, can we stay on this for like just a second? I'm still writing it down.
Sure. Yeah, and I will only move to the next problem when you say you're ready. I do have them uploaded now. I can try to do them in some sort of order,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay, I'm good now.
All right, so we can absolutely go back in order here, starting with question 1.
Okay.
Right. So the nice thing here is you probably will have a reference sheet, or maybe you can remember these things. But the equation for a circle is in standard form is written here. The center is at h comma k.
Mm-hmm.
So you have it correct down here. I don't know if you need any explanation on that, or
No.
uh, if you got it. All right. Now, are there certain ones you have to do, or do you just want us to go through all of them in order?
Let's go through all in order because some of them I need to get my answers checked.
Okay. Very good. Looks like you might have even marked some. That's really good. All right. Circle O has a radius of 7.39. They're missing the units there, but we presume it's in feet. If the measure of angle AOB is 112, find the length of AB to 1 decimal place. We're finding the measure of this arc like this. And so
Mm-hmm.
the arc is part of the circumference. The circumference is 2 pi r, but if you're only wanting part of it, you take the angle out of 360. And so that's where that 112 comes in. It's 112 out of 360. 2 times the pi times the radius, which is 7.339. And so this is a formula you might want to have on a reference sheet.
Okay. Okay, I got 14.4 feet.
Very good. Good.
Okay.
All right. On to number 3.
Okay.
All right. Use the diagram to find the values of x and y, given that the tangent of B is 5/12. So they're trying to tell you 2 of the side lengths here.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'll add a z here. What is, well, here's B. Which lengths are 5 and 12? Is it x, y, or z? And tangent is the TOA, as a reminder.
Oops, okay. So Z is 5 and X is 12.
That's right. So if you're using, powers of removing answers, any answer that doesn't have x equals 12 is out. So therefore it must be D. Let's talk about why, though it actually is. How do you find the third side of a right triangle?
Um, oh, you can do Pythagorean theorem.
Yes. So you would do 5 squared plus 12 squared equals y squared, which ends up being 25 plus 144 equals y squared.
Yeah.
So y would end up being the square root of 169, which is 13. But don't be afraid, or don't, use the strategy. Like if you know one of the answers, just see if it
Okay.
works. Okay. Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, what is the measure of angle ABC? So they want x right here, and there's a formula for x. These are 2 angles, arcs that have nothing to do with the center. The center is just off there, somewhere to the side. I use the notation little m and big M and X, and X equals the average of big M plus little m divided by 2. So you have to take the two numbers, the two arc measures, 68 and 28, add them up and divide by 2.
Okay. Okay, okay, I got 47. Oh, wait.
So that's not one of the answers.
Okay, wait. I put in the wrong number. I got 48.
Okay, that is correct. Good. All right, so that's a formula you have to remember. You might want to have the diagram as well, because it's a little bit different than maybe you're used to.
Mhm.
All right, question 5.
Yes.
Here we go. Let's snip that in. Use the diagram to find the value of X. All right. So one of the things like that, one strategy when working problems out like this is to find things that you can find. For example, you should be able to find the third angle in a triangle if all three angles add up to 180. What
Mhm.
is the missing angle measure there?
It is 78.
It is 98. Yeah. Now, another strategy is to remove a line. That's not to scale. Let me draw that better. Okay, so that's 98. That's X. So notice by removing a line from the triangle and not writing all the values, you remember the relationship between this arc here on the left and the inscribed angle?
We multiply it by 2.
Yes. Now, I don't think you have the right number here. In fact, I
Yeah,
think it's
I
the
was gonna
third.
say because I said 78.
Yes, and I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know why I wrote that, but good news is that that answer wasn't there. So
It's
uh,
A.
it is A. Very good. That is a test taking strategy. If your answer isn't there, you have done something wrong. And not to presume that there's a mistake on the test. All right, number 6. Here, let's snip this in. All right, segments SR and ST are tangent to circle C. All right, and the thing here to remember is that all tangents from a point are congruent. So you can set the x plus 12 equal to the 4x plus 9.
Mhm.
So maybe you've already done that. Could you solve that for x for us, please?
Yeah. Um, I got X equals 7. Or wait,
Try again.
1 second.
Let me know if I can help here. This is not meant to be a complicated solving. It's
Okay,
moving the
yeah, no,
variables.
sorry. I just like messed up when I did it really quick. Okay, I got X equals 1. Is that right?
It is 1.
Okay, good.
All right, now that is not what it's asking for, though. It's asking for the length of SR. So you got to be really careful not to just, okay, it's 1. Here's my answer.
Okay. So it's 13.
It's 13. Yep. So here's a new problem for us to look at. All right, so we're trying to find the measure of angle 1. This is drawn really poorly, but it's if I kind of exaggerate it, the idea is that 1 is really this X here, and there's this major and minor arc.
Mm-hmm.
And so X, when it's external, is big M minus little m divided by 2. And you might be wondering, okay, well, I can see big M. I've got that. It's 85 degrees. I know I'm trying to find X, which means you need little m. So how do you find little m? Well, thankfully, they're giving you some other angles. If you go all the way around the circle, how many degrees is that?
360.
So use that to find this little m. You've got 95, 88, and 175. Go ahead and add those up. And
Okay, 5.
5 degrees. Okay. Now you can use this formula I've provided and get the value of that angle.
Okay. A 40.
It's 40. Very good. So another formula to remember, maybe another picture to remember. Make sure you know the difference, because that one I showed you earlier looks really similar. The one where it's
But it was
inside,
positive.
it's positive, yeah. And it's stressful in a situation like a final exam, it's easy to use the wrong formula.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. Number 8. So to find the area of the rectangle, you really need the base and the height. You have the base. You really want the height. The triangle is a special triangle. It's a 30, 60, 90. And here's the reference for it again.
Yes, I completely forgot what that was.
And that's why you do your final review. You get those formulas back together.
Okay.
What is the value? So did you solve? Okay, so maybe I want you to solve this for X. It's kind of like what
Mm-hmm.
we did in an earlier problem.
Okay. So it would be 2 radical 3 for the base.
Okay. No. Just the
I mean
base
for
is
X.
6. X, yeah, which happens to be the height.
Yeah.
That's the 2√3. Okay. So then to find the area, you multiply the base times
The
the
height.
height. And if you're going to a calculator, always take a look at the answers first. The answers are all what I'll call non-calculator answers.
Mhm. Okay, how do I like? Oh, okay, it'd be A then.
Yes, it's the base times the height, and the height is 2√3, base is 6. There you go.
Mhm.
All right, so we did 9 already. 10, okay. So 10 is the style of problem you see on a lot of standardized tests. You actually need to look at the answers first and see where the overlaps is. See how they all have a 2 in them?
Mhm.
That means that 2 is a right triangle. You don't even need to do that one. 3 is in 3 of the answers. So if 3 doesn't work, then you know it's A. But if 3 does work, it's either B, C, or D.
Mhm.
All right, so we need to do 3 next. So it's A, B, C, and does A squared plus B squared equal C squared is 1 squared plus the square root of 2 squared. Does it equal the square root of 3 squared? Is this
Oh,
true?
okay. Yeah, I get you.
Is yes. So go ahead and see if that's right. Verify that.
Yeah.
Does work. So that doesn't really help. That just means it's either B, C, or D. But now you have to decide, well, what's the difference between C and D? The difference between C and D is 1. So we need to check and see if 1 works.
That was not a
It does
triangle.
it does not work. It might be, it is, and it also isn't even a triangle. It's a good point. So 1 does not work. So the answer therefore has to be letter C.
Mhm.
But you're using the Pythagorean theorem. I'm sure that's in your notes. Probably you already know it without even writing
Yeah.
it down, but that's something to consider there. All right, so we did 11. We're on to 12. All right, find the edge of arc MRP. MRP. So you see that's M to R to P. I've got a highlighter and this is on a screen, but if you had it in front of you, it might be good to just really know what it is that you're finding.
Mhm.
All right, so to do that, you get this answer, really need to know, well, a couple of options. We either need to know what's going on inside here, or we need the other side in blue,
Mhm.
or the other angle in blue. And the reason is because if we know the other one in blue, we can subtract it from 360. All right, so does anything stand out to you? Do you notice anything in this drawing?
The 3, I'm pretty sure it's called a vertical angle.
It is the 73, and that's 73 up there.
Yeah.
So that means this other, use a different color. This one right here, you can get from adding 73 plus 81, which is 154.
Mhm.
But that's not your answer. That's the other arc.
And then you take 360 and then subtract it by 154, right?
Exactly. Yep,
And I got 206.
you got it. You're supposed to be noticing that these aren't really difficult problems. There's like one or two steps. There's never 3 steps. There's never it's not a trick question. You just
Yeah.
have to you know keep that in mind here. So let's take a look here. Um, a ramp is needed to allow vehicles to climb a 2-foot wall. The angle of elevation in order for the vehicle to safely go up must be 30 degrees or less. So what they're saying here is that they don't know the angle X. They're just saying like it can't be more than 30 degrees.
Uh-huh.
All right. And the longest ramp available is 5 feet. Can this ramp be used safely? So they're saying, basically saying to solve for X. Like get the angle.
For this one, I got B.
So did you do sine inverse of 2/5?
Yes.
Okay, and you got 23.6?
Yes.
Do you want me to check that, or do you feel like you got it?
You could check it if you want. Just make sure I'm right.
Okay. All right, it is correct. So is it safe? It is, because it's less than 30 degrees. All right, any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay. How many total questions are there in this?
Let me check really quick. 31.
Okay. We're possibly not going to be able to get through all these, so you may at some point want to prioritize, but we're okay for now.
That's okay.
So the shaded region is the part over here with the hashes. The angle measure is 190 degrees. Right, the two of them have to add up to 180.
Mhm.
So the area of a circle, is normally pi r squared. But because we don't want the whole circle, we just want the angle out of 360. We want the piece. So in this case, the angle is 190 out of 360 pi, and then the radius is 7 squared. You always want to look at your answers. You never want to just blindly go and do the calculation here, because notice all the answers have a pi in it, which means if you're going to go to your calculator, you have to
Oh,
leave the
wait.
pi off
Why
to
are
the
you
side,
writing 190?
because the shaded area has a central angle of 190, not 170.
Oh, okay, okay. Got it. Okay. So I think it would be B, 25.9 pi.
Okay. Yeah, and that's because the full area is 49 pi, so it's a
Mhm.
little bit more than half. So yeah, that looks right. Okay, good. All right. So do you get a? And I'm sure I've already asked. I'm just forgot. Do you get a formula sheet on your final?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have to make it, or do they give it to you? Because, like, for example, this would be one where you might need the formula.
They give it to us.
Okay. Even better. All right. So the formula here for the volume is pi r squared h. They're giving you both values, so just give that a try and see what you come up with.
Okay, I got D.
Okay. Any concerns about that?
No.
Yeah, it looks right. You can almost estimate the answer in some of these because they're so far apart on the multiple choice there.
Mhm.
All right, 16. There is a formula to convert from degrees to radians.
Is it
You,
just pi over 180?
yes.
Okay. I know how to do like this one and the next one.
Okay, just make sure you don't put the pi in the calculator.
Yeah.
To go the other direction from radian to degrees, you multiply by 180 over pi.
Mhm.
All right, not good. So that ends all the questions I have, which is not, you sent way more than that. So let me see what's going on here.
Okay.
All right, maybe these just didn't upload yet. That is the issue. All right, so. These came in out of order. That's okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
You didn't do anything wrong. The technology doesn't cook up what we want. All right. It said 16 and 17 we did 18. All right. Come on, there we go. All right. All right, describe and identify the solid produced by rotating the figure around the given axis. This is a sphere.
Mhm.
I'll just quickly remind you that a rectangle becomes a cylinder and a triangle becomes a cone. In case you need
Mhm.
those in your notes. So the formula for the volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. The 13, I believe, is supposed to indicate the diameter.
Mhm.
And so there's actually only, like, if you start looking at the answers, it's cylinder width, sphere width, sphere width. This is the only one that has the right radius,
Mhm.
which means you don't even have to calculate it because
Oh,
that must be
okay.
the answer. If you want to, you should get the same result as this right here.
Um, yeah, I got the same thing.
Fantastic. All right, number 19.
Mhm.
All right, a tire rotates 5 times. How far does the tire travel if the diameter is 18 inches to the nearest foot? This is actually a really cool exercise that they should do with you. Imagine the tire, you're standing here and you pick a point on the tire and then you roll it and the tire's back where that same point is on the ground. It's gone 1 revolution.
Mhm.
1 revolution is the circumference, 2 pi r, or pi times d. They're both the same. So if it rotates or goes around 1 time, it's pi times d, or 18 pi. So 1 rotation is 18 pi.
Mhm.
But we're not going 1 rotation. How many are we going?
5.
5. So to multiply this by 5 rotations is 90 pi. So you have to multiply 90 times pi, but notice they're so crafty here. The diameter is in inches. So your rotations are in inches. We want it to the nearest foot. So we know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So you have to divide your answer by 12.
So 1080.
You're dividing by 12. Sounds like you maybe multiplied.
Oh, okay.
So 1 rotation is 18 pi. 5 rotations, 18 times 5 is 90 pi. And then you have to divide that by 12 because your 90 pi is really in inches. And you don't want your answer in inches, you want your answer in feet.
Mhm. Okay, I don't know. I'm like confused.
Okay, what do you see on my screen here?
What?
What do you see on the screen here?
90 pi in inches.
Times, yeah, 1 divided by 12.
Mm-hmm.
So 90 pi times 1 doesn't change. And then this just means to divide by 12.
Oh, okay. So then it's 7.5 feet.
You've got a pi though.
Oh, okay.
So 90 times pi divided by 12.
So 23.6. I
And it's
mean,
just around, yeah, it's just around there's foot, so we'll go
24.
24. Yes.
Okay.
All right, we probably could have done that a different way. So
That was
don't be,
very confusing for me.
yeah. Let's take a look here at number 20. All right, volume of a rectangular prism is 11,232 cubic inches. The width of the rectangular base is 9, and the length of the base is 16. So they're saying it looks something like this, 9 and 16. But it's a prism, so it's got a height. But we don't know the height. But the volume is the area of the base times the height. And so you know the area of the base. The area of the base is 16 times 9. What is the volume? It's given. It's 11,232. But we don't know the height.
Mhm.
Can we solve for the height in this equation?
Yeah.
It actually looks like you might have the right answer there, but maybe double check.
78. Yeah.
232 divided by. Yep. All right, so that's correct. All right, let's take a look at a new question here. All right, a right triangle is a hypotenuse of 6 and one leg of 5. What is the length of the third side? So always good to draw a triangle, your favorite right triangle here. It's got a hypotenuse of 6, and that's 5. How do we find? It's the a squared plus b squared equals c squared again.
Yeah. I think I could do this by my self, so we can skip it.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting to a point where you probably want to say, yes, tell me which ones you want us to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would say that was actually the last one that uploaded yet again. I don't know why they're just really slow to upload. That's all it is. What's the next problem you want us to look at?
22.
Okay. So it looks like I'm gonna have to hand draw a few of these. So 22 is some sort of, it's a regular pentagon. Okay, and they give you this distance right here. Do you remember what this is called, that it makes a right angle with the side?
Apothem?
Yes. And so the area is 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter. And you have the apothem, it's 5.1. What is the perimeter though?
It is 7.5 times 5.
5 times 7.5. Good. Go to your calculator and give that a try. I'll do the same. We'll compare results here.
Okay, I got 95.625.
Okay, and it says to round to the nearest hundredth. That's 2 decimal places. What would that round to?
95.63.
Very good. There's your final answer. Okay, I do have the rest uploaded here. Just give me a yes or no on 23.
Wait, sorry, I'm still writing it down.
Okay.
Okay. I could do number 23. Let's do number 24.
Okay, sounds good. Right, so the volume of a prism, and that's what we have here. It's a triangular prism. The base is a triangle. The volume of a prism is always the area of the base times the height. So in this case, your base is a triangle. It's got a base dimension of 9 and a height of 6. What is the area of that triangle?
54.
That would be a rectangle. Area of triangles, base times height divided by 2.
Oh, divided by 2. Okay.
You have to cut it in half. So that gets you to
27.
27. So your volume is 27 times the height. The height are those like posts, things that go up. That's your height. That's 10. Any questions on that?
No.
All right. So 25, 26, any of those you want to do?
No, wait. Let's do. Um.
I actually only have up to 26, looks like.
Okay. Most of these seem like the newer stuff, so it's actually pretty easy. Okay, those were like the rest of my questions
Okay.
that I needed help on.
Okay. I mean, and they're just uploading now. So if you want to, I mean, is there ones you want us to work on? We got 4 minutes left. We should do something if you want. About 26.
Okay.
All right. So the slope, you get the slope from solving for y. And you're right. This is from algebra 1. This is last year. Maybe even did it before that. You subtract 5x from both sides. Minus 2y equals minus 5x plus 10. Divide by -2. Divide by -2. So y equals 5 over 2x minus 5. So you have to be able to isolate the variable y.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, the slope is always the number in front of it. What is the number in front of x?
Oh, 5/2.
5 over 2. So that's your slope.
And b is -5.
Yes. All right, let's look at 27. All right, find the slope of the line that passes through the points 5, -1 and -3, 8. The slope formula might be something to write down. y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. It's x1, y1, x2, y2. The subscripts refer to the ordered pair, like one means from the first ordered pair, one from the first ordered pair, second ordered pair, second ordered pair. So give that a try. It doesn't always work out nice. Sometimes it's a fraction. Just see what you come up with there, please.
So I got -9/8.
So it's 8 minus a -1 in the numerator. So
Mhm.
that y2 really should come first. You can flip these, but it's better to kind of use the standard conventions. Then -3 -5 on the bottom. So I got 9/-8 or -9/8. Does that match what you said?
Yeah,
Okay. I thought I heard something different. That's good. Hopefully your thing accepts fractions.
yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. I never know. Sometimes you get some oddities. All right. We probably don't have any more time to do. We don't have time to do any more questions, but any like verbal questions, anything you'd like clarity on before we close out?
I think I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Let me go ahead and stop right here.